Everything that I'm going to tell you is not a rule. It's something that the writers do think about, and they think about it while writing, but it's more crucial when you're in editing phase. So, word count. It depends whom do you ask. You're gonna get a lot of different informations. I've heard that 40,000 words are the bare minimum for a novel, right? And somebody said, no, it's 60, right? So we get to the genres. Now, if we talk about genres, you can expect a complete sort of chaos, right? So, for romance and science fiction, they're usually around 90,000 words. Okay? Uh, Epic fantasy is 240,000 words. Can you think about it? So, 60, you know, for a bare minimum, and then it goes up to 240. You have four novels in one book. If you don't think that's crazy, I mean, I think it's crazy. That's a lot. I would have to, write for 2 years to get that amount. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy, absolutely. But, you know, when you think about it, yeah, I mean, epic fantasy, they're going into tiny little details. You know, they like to describe the world very, vividly. And that's okay. You know, there are people who like that, and the publishers who actually demand that if you give them the novel, they have to be of the certain length, you know. So get informed. I mean, I got informed, and this is just how I am operating. You know, so this is a little bit of history. So I started writing at 2013, I think. I'm not sure. The first novel that I wrote it for about 9 months, and I really didn't know how you know big it should be. You know how long do I need to write it? So I decided, 100,000 words. I consider that as an achievement, and I didn't know that that's actually where should I aim at. So the first novel, 9 months, 130,000 words, you know, and because I'm well aware that I'm not really great, I was writing even more. So when I get to the editing phase, because I knew that somebody else must do that, because me, I'm being subjective, so I'll just leave it as it is. That's finished. The first draft, you did it on the first go. Congratulations, yay. You know, it doesn't work that way. Your novel does not get good on the first try. Nobody's good just by, you know, he started writing yesterday and he's super, successful. That doesn't happen. You have to learn a lot. So I learned a lot. That was the first novel, 130,000 words. Second novel that I wrote, it took me 6 months to punch around 120,000 words, which is kind of great. It just shows that what I've learned, I started practicing that in the second novel, so I was not making the mistakes from the first one. So the third novel that I wrote, it was around 100,000 words, and I did that in 3 months, which is again also great because what I have learned from the first and the second one, now I used on the third one. So this is the clear path of how writer is actually evolving through the skill. I mean, how your skills are actually evolving. So you're getting better just by practicing. And reading is also important, which I don't do as often as I should. So, I mostly read, these blog, stories, and there are quite a lot actually bloggers that write stories and poems. So that's a very little. I don't know. You have to read something, concrete. Me, I personally love Hemingway and Arthur C. Clarke, and I read pretty much everything from them. So that's yay. Okay. Um, I don't know. I should really get on reading, and I have tons of books. So I need to find time. For the fourth novel, the one that I'm talking about, that we are here to follow its journey from writing to editing to corrections, publishing, and everything that goes with it. So the fourth one, ooh, I managed to write 105,000 words in 26 days, which means that usual quota, so daily quota, is about 5,000 words per day. Now you're gonna probably ask yourself, well, wait, how do you manage to write so much in so short time? I don't have a job. I don't have a day job. I live in a village. This is what I do. Writing comes to me as a hobby. It's not a job because I'm not being paid for it so far. Where do my money come from is from little bit from Patreon. That's useful, actually. Yeah, I got only two guys there, but any help matters. So I appreciate you two guys. River Dixon, thank you, and Michael Coates. I mean, that's what it says on the Patreon, so that's what you said. Yay. So, this workout, where should you aim? Okay, what should you do? I don't know really what to tell you, but I'm just gonna pass on the advice that has been given to me. What people told me is don't look at the numbers. They are there, to as sort of a guideline or something. That's kind of a limit. But it doesn't really matter. What really matters is the story that you're telling, this idea, this stuff that you have to unburden yourself, just to write it down. That's what matters. So you should write as long as you have an inspiration and need to make a best novel that you can. So this is sorry. This is something that you should have taken out of this video. This is, what matters. So you have these numbers, but they're not really rules. You should not stick to them so vigorously. You should write whatever you think it needs to be written. Okay? That's on you. You decide how long your novel is going to be. However, you have to know one thing. You really need to try to be best as you can with writing. Don't, the limit. So some people say it's 40,000 words, so you reach 40 and you stop there. So it goes in the editing phase, and your editor kicks out, like, I don't know, 10,000 words. So you have 30,000 words. You really don't have an novel, right? And it's considered kind of lazy, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, you decided to write, but you don't really want a challenge, so why writing? Oh, fast money, is that? You know, that's the only thing you're interested at. No, man. I mean, no, nobody's going to read that stuff. You know, maybe somebody's going to read, maybe somebody's going to think, oh, this is a great idea. You know, shame it didn't really worked on it to really, you know, transport it. You know, to really give you this impression of this beautiful world, of these powerful characters, of this you know, great people, and maybe animals. You know, I mean, it all depends what sort of genre you were writing in and what are you interested at. But really, if you're writing, give your best shot. You know, you have to always try to be better. You know, that's the crucial point of why am I writing. This is the reason why I do it, because you know, George R. Martin said, well, people who read, they lived 1,000 lives, right? And people who don't read, they only lived one, their own. So when you're a writer and you also a person who reads, you are just engaging something that's beyond this reality. You're creating your own world. If you ask me, every writer is a little bit of a god, because he has to imagine that perfection and just create something out of nothing. You know, it's just his imagination, nothing more. If that's not worthy of praise, I mean, okay, you have other art, you have other artists like musicians and painters. You know what they're trying is they're trying to give some message, to give something inspiring, to say something meaningful. You know, if it happens to offend somebody, well, that's certainly going to happen. I mean, not everybody's going to love your book, and they will have a lot of reasons of why. You know, somebody, oh, this character is not well, you know, structured. Oh, well, that is a major plot hole. He just haven't paid attention to it. Oh, well, the wording, the vocabulary, or whatever. You know, it just doesn't work. And some people just they don't like it because yeah, it's not their genre. You know, they don't understand it. It seems so abstract that somebody could imagine something like that and actually write it down. I mean, you have a lot of different people. Me, I'm trying all the genres. I don't have a preferred genre. I try everything because why not? I have to find myself what actually is going well to me, you know, well with me. I'm good at romance, and yet I chose to write, you know, military fiction. You know, it just those two kind of don't have any sort of correlation. You know, I mean, maybe your um, sci-fi, war, whatnot, battles, space. You know, everything is just shiny and you know you have these theories and dreadful things and a little bit comedy, and then you have a love triangle in there, and so they can relate. You know, like romance in space. This fourth book is fourth novel, fourth book. It's kind of the same. It's futuristic romance. So this is what I'm trying. The previous three that I wrote are military fiction, and this fourth one is something completely different. You know, who knows what I'm going to write, you know, after this. You know, I may try epic fantasy, and that's gonna like last for I don't know a decade to get it all out. You know, to write it down just you know the right way that I want it, and working on it, editing can take up to I don't know. I mean, 240,000 words, man. That's gonna take like 2 years just to get it in order. You know, but maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I could try. So That's it. I left you with a lot of links, in the description, like the usual: Facebook, Twitter, blog, whatnot, Patreon. If you decide to become a Patreon, thank you. You're gonna get a custom story, a custom poem, or a custom illustration, or all three. Yay. So you decide. And everything that donate will go to the publishing. So you're gonna help me. Really, really appreciate it. And I would also like to thank to all my blog friends and followers who are with me for about 2 years now. I'm kind of fresh in the game, but they're very dedicated and loyal and helpful. And if you don't have a blog, make one. Write everything that you want. If you're a writer, a poet, or whatever you are, it can be used as a social platform, and it's very community driven. You're gonna like it, I'm sure. So thank you for watching this video. Until the next time, take care and bye.